Hey everyone, and welcome back to the news. So today we have something that could be extremely important for the industry. A company has abandoned blind loot boxes in favor for something that gives the consumer more information, more control, and guaranteed rewards. And it's not just any company. It's Epic Games, who, between Unreal Engine 4, the Epic Store, and Fortnite, are currently dominating the industry. Their massive position could bring about change. However, while this does seem to be great and almost altruistic on the face of it, I suspect there's a reason why this model will be extremely effective. Now, I also suspect that most people watching this video are not massive Fortnite fans. Honestly, I'm not either, so I'll get through this bit quick. The original Fortnite game mode is Save the World. It's actually the game they were intending to make, with the subsequent Battle Royale coming out after the team pretty much followed PUBG. Now, Fortnite Battle Royale, it does not use loot boxes, and they really do seem to have quite a fair business model for Battle Royale, with direct purchases for cosmetics and then a battle pass that dispenses rewards based on playing the game, much like the Dota Battle Pass. Now, Fortnite Save the World, before today, used pretty regular loot boxes called llamas. Now, llamas would contain a bunch of items, including ones that affected gameplay, such as weapon schematics. Now, these were purchased by using V-Bucks, and they came with a few different rarities. So they used to operate just like a regular loot box that would contain a bunch of random items, both useful and cosmetic. You'd throw some money in. You could also buy them in bulk. So the new system is entirely different to that. Now, whenever you mouse over one of these llamas, what actually happens is it tells you what the llama will contain. It tells you every item that is inside it before you buy it. Now, this is not like PUBG where it, says what the box may contain and what its loot table is. No, it tells you the literal items inside that llama, meaning that when you purchase it, there is zero randomness. Now, at this stage, it's not a loot box, it's just a regular bundle of items. Now, if you purchase one llama, then the next one will have different items and so on and so forth, also having anti-dupe measures, being in effect for all of that. Now, if you don't like what's in a llama, you can just wait a day and your current llama will change on a daily basis. So, it'll re-roll to a new one. They've also disabled the option to purchase llamas in bulk, thinking that, well, really, the system is designed around you knowing what you're getting for your money, so it wouldn't be fair to have a big bulk buy that reintroduced that randomness. So on the whole, it's rather remarkable. We literally have just seen a company move away from traditional loot boxes and towards something that does actually let the consumer know what they're going to get before they make their purchase. Now, Fortnite Save the World is currently buy to play because it's in early access, but when it's actually going to launch, it will be free to play. Now, of course, for me, there are still big, massive pay-to-win concerns. Of course, that's a lot toned down because it's a PvE game, not a PvP game, but still, I can't say I like it that much. So, that's what's happened. And on the face of it, it looks like a move in the right direction, but there are many other layers to this. First, though, what could it mean for the industry? Well, we've got to start it off with Blizzard Entertainment, who really kicked off the loot box craze with Overwatch. Now, in Overwatch, loot boxes contain random items, with players only really caring about the skins and the emotes usually. Now, with this system, you would hover over a loot box, and you would actually find out what that loot box contained, with that changing daily, re-rolling daily. Hearthstone is another example. A system like this would tell you what is in your next pack. Now, that would make promotions that give you multiple packs really quite awkward indeed, but if you were to use maybe a card token currency, you could make that work, or, just have it so that, you just kind of eat the randomness if you do get loads of packs. I actually think it's pretty interesting for a game like Hearthstone. If they were to implement a system like this, it would probably be good for people who want to play that game for free in a few different ways. So what it would mean that as you're earning gold in Hearthstone, you could just wait. And you could wait until your card pack for that day, your first one, because of course it rerolls every day, tells you what's in the pack. You could maybe wait until there's something that you want. And for the people who just earn gold, buy a few packs here and there, that could lead to a far more enjoyable experience. Now, it is something that could undoubtedly cut out a little bit of Blizzard's business model, but I would also wonder that if somebody was to maybe see, oh, there's a legendary that I want, but I have no gold, and I've done my dailies, maybe I'll just buy some packs. It's hard to know what that balance is, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Overall, though, for something like Hearthstone, if they were to make that change, I would be extremely happy. Would it make me more likely to play Hearthstone? Yes, absolutely. Now, the other element to this that's particularly interesting is, well, gambling. So look, I've been to ticketed private industry events hosted by trade bodies, very important ones, can't name names, and they're very bombastic in these things about how loot boxes are not gambling. I've literally had people, stand up on a podium and pretty much cheer that they're not gambling and say that it's stupid and whatever. Now, I can't understand why they say that, but there's certainly a lot of rhetoric there that I think to a lot of the people in the audience seems a little bit strange. Now, that's not the sort of thing that you're really going to see publicly that much, but that's kind of what it is like, on the back end. And really, that is just a reality of how the business works and the different set of incentives that are faced by those industry types who aren't exactly doing the creation of the games. I mean, look, I don't like it, but that's kind of how it is. Anyway, as much as these people have their rhetoric about how they're not gambling, well, legal definitions aside, I think we can all agree they can feel really shady, and it is really something where players and industry leaders do clash. Now, we have since seen multiple countries launch investigations into whether loot boxes are a form of gambling, so whether people at industry events start cheering about it or not, countries are looking into this, and if companies take the piss, we'll end up with restrictive industry regulations that are drawn up by politicians who don't understand how the industry works. That would be bad for games, be bad for business, it would be too much, probably don't want that. What's better is self-regulation by the industry, not government intervention, because once you give the government power, guess what? They're not really going to give it back. They're actually going to get hungry to take a little bit more. And thus we have a more regulated games industry. Now sure, that could start off with maybe loot boxes or something like that. What if it starts bleeding into content? I mean, not to get too far into stuff, but I take a look at, say, the UK government and some of the legislation that they in the last few years passed against what we will call sort of adult material, which a lot of people will, maybe think, well, you know what, I don't really like those things, sure, but I don't know if it's your place, government, to do that. So there's definitely concerns there. I know that's a slippery slope argument, I know they're not ideal, but I think this one kind of holds a bit of water. Anyway, this is a good first step, because if the element of randomness is what attracts the accusations of gambling, then this move basically dismisses them completely. So, yeah, I mean, Epic seem like saints, don't they? Standing up for gamers by turning down free money. Yeah, I know, that sounds absurd to say, doesn't it? That's because it is. First, they likely don't want to contribute to the industry getting regulated to hell. That's bad for business for everyone. Second, this is likely going to be very profitable. So currently, loot boxes are just a passive reward for most people. They earn one here or there, but there are a small portion of people, called whales by the industry, who pump a lot of money into them. They're the people who purchase those large bundles. Now, this system disallows that, and by making each loot box its own decision, it actively discourages whales by just putting up more friction with every single purchase decision. Now, what I suspect is that this will greatly increase the rate of purchase from regular players, i.e. those who would have never really put a large amount of money into bundles. By presenting people with a list of items, you'll definitely, you'll increase the value proposition of purchasing a single loot box for that individual. And then if the follow-up loot box has something that they want, they're going to be more likely to purchase it. Then by rotating the boxes on a daily basis, you keep on giving people another reason, you entice them to purchase again. And because that happens on a daily basis, well, everyone is getting a new daily tease to put some money into the game. And in many ways, this could be a win-win for business and consumer. So for the customers, you know what you're getting, and you can make your own value judgment. Then for Epic Games, yeah, I actually suspect this could be an increase in revenue over the other system because it would appeal to more people. They also have an upgrade mechanic for their loot boxes, which again could lead to further engagement in the whole system. So that's what's going on here. For free-to-play games, this does seem like a significantly more healthy model than running off the current loot boxes that are super, pure random. Personally, though, I don't like it. I still don't. I don't really like either system. I like this one. I like it less, not as much. I can't really endorse that people, sort of engage in those business models. Personally, I think that Smite and Dota are kind of the gold standard. With Smite, you just purchase a £20 pack, 20-something pounds, it would unlock all of the heroes forever, all the gods because of Smite. You could still buy skins and stuff, but the Ultimate God Pack just gave you the entire game, mechanically, at one price, rather than to nickel and dime you for every little element, like many free-to-play games do. The same goes for Dota, but Steam is really at the core of its business business model because of the percentage of the revenue from Steam sales that Valve gets. And that's not comparable to most games, oddly enough, other than Fortnite because, of course, of the new Epic Store. That means that Epic Games will get a cut of any future games purchased on that store. So even if Fortnite isn't making that much money at all, as long as it gets people into the store, they're still getting a lot of residual income. So on the whole, I think that if more companies were to adopt something like this, then yeah, I think it would be a good thing. I think it would lead to more educated purchase decisions, and I don't think it would be as psychologically manipulative of the people who engage behavior that the industry gleefully labels as being whale-like. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is the right direction? Do you think it's enough? Personally, I think it absolutely is a better system, but yeah, it's still not something I'm going to engage in personally, and I don't really recommend that other people engage in it either because I just don't see the lasting value in a lot of those purchases. So there you go. That is my thoughts on this. You know, it's pretty big for the Fortnite people. It could be pretty big if it starts to have a ripple effect, especially if this is able to prove that it still makes enough money that other companies think, you know what, we don't want to get regulated, so let's remove the randomness, put in a system like this, and I don't know, maybe still make a decent amount of money, but then not get regulations that would be very spooky to their investors. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know down below. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more tomorrow, and I believe the day after as well. And with that, I'll see you next time.